Hey guys, what's up? I am here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Lord El-Melloi ⅱ Say No Jikenbo Rail Zeppelin Grace Note, or you can call it Lord El-Melloi Case Files Rail Zeppelin Grace Note on episode 10. Now this episode right here looks pretty cool. I mean, like there were some simple stuff happening, but if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that before the opening, Waver ends up having a dream of what happened, of like having to talk to Kenneth of what happened to him, you know, and about like meeting like the King of Conquerors again, and of course, we get to see a scene with Gray and Hephaestion, and Gray's like, "Why'd you save me?" And Hephaestion says, "Is like, you're a warrior. You should only die in a warrior's battle and not by something else." And of course, Gray, on the other hand, like knows that she will like fight Hephaestion again, but they end up having a little small talk with each other, especially Gray talking about seeing something in a dream from her, and of course Hephaestion does interrogate her in a brutal way, but ends up leaving afterwards, telling her that it stopped snowing, that she should get moving. Eventually, we do see a scene with like Luvia and Shishigo having to talk to like a former student to Waver or Lord El-Melloi II. And of course, after having a couple small talks here and there and investigating about Trisha and maybe something about like Mari-chan, if anything, they end up having to leave and realize that someone on the train might be somewhere out there. As for Gray, she managed to catch up by snowboarding on freaking like that little like square box into a snowboard shield, and then like managed to make it on time to the train, you know. But aside from that, the second half involves the investigation about the murder of Trisha, you know, involving a meeting, and we see to it that Asahino deduces or thinks that Crampton or that church guy, whatever his name is the one involved with her murder because of his mystic eyes having some kind of abilities here and there. But eventually, we don't really know if it's really confirmed or if it's true or not. But before they could get into anything further, we have to it that Crampton or the church guy's mystic eyes gets extracted, and apparently it looks like it's almost close to a rainbow rank whatsoever. Almost falls short to a rainbow class, but at least a jewel class because of it. Eventually, Waver, on the other hand, when he like showed up to like Asahino's deduction of the crime whatsoever, he believes that it's nothing more than a deduction and not really like proof exactly. Eventually, Waver does like talk to Crampton for a bit about the murder, and ends up having a little small sour talk with like Melvin, etc. As for Gray, she mentioned something about seeing some kind of like lewd, however you pronounce that freaking word, thing that Trisha had on her before she got murdered or something. But I'm not gonna say that because those of you guys who watched the episode, you'll get the idea. Those who didn't, well, you'll be confused as hell. Anyways, all I can really tell you what happened in this episode is that there's just investigations that Luvia and Shishigo are going into, especially when it came to the second half of like solving the case of like Trisha's murder. But we get to know that Trisha, she actually severed her own head and hid it somewhere else that Ogumari ends up finding eventually. As for Gray, she ends up having a small talk with Hephaestion, and that's about it. Yeah, I forgot to mention that Trisha severed her own head during the investigations of the meeting that Ogumari found in a box whatsoever. I don't know, but one thing for sure, she might have seen her like death whatsoever, and that's the reason why she severed her own head and hid it somewhere in another dimension, etc. I know, it sounds confusing, right? But if you watch the episode, you'll get the idea where I'm coming from. But aside from that, her last words was saying Crampton. That's the reason. But that's the reason why they or Asahino thinks that Crampton might be the one that murdered her. But whatever. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!